Today's episode of Looping Through Life is brought to you by the band Fictional Reality. Listen now on Spotify. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Looping Through Life. Hit yet another coaster dive today. Headed south today to dive into SeaWorld Orlando for SeaWorld Orlando's Apex Predator. That's right, towering over the skyline of SeaWorld Orlando is a beast, the B&M beauty known as Mako.
And unlike your last 5 investment opportunities, it actually delivers returns. Remember when you bought Dogecoin after Elon bailed?
That was one mistake.
One? Bro, you financed a popcorn bucket at Epcot. You're not a thrill seeker. You're a bankruptcy simulator.
Can we just get on and talk about the coaster already?
Fine. Mako is SeaWorld's smooth, relentless airtime machine. It's tall, it's fast, and best of all, it doesn't require a second mortgage to enjoy.
Mako at SeaWorld Orlando isn't just a roller coaster. It's a standout in the hyper world, a turning point, a bold swing in a new direction for a park that desperately needed one. Rising 200 feet above the Florida skyline, Mako is the tallest coaster in Orlando, a sleek steel predator inspired by one of the fastest sharks in the ocean. But more than that, it marked a shift in how SeaWorld approached its future, stepping away from its controversy-laden past and diving headfirst into world-class thrill ride territory. This is the story of Mako, how it came to be, why it matters, and what makes it one of the most uniquely satisfying hypercoasters ever built. In the early 2010s, SeaWorld Orlando was facing a reckoning. The 2013 release of the documentary Blackfish sent shockwaves through the industry. The film accused the company of unethical animal treatment, especially surrounding its orca programs. Whether the criticism was entirely justified or not, the damage was done. Attendance dropped, revenue declined, and the SeaWorld brand became synonymous with controversy. In response, SeaWorld initiated a strategic pivot, one that involved distancing the brand from animal-centric attractions and investing heavily in thrill rides. The company realized that coasters and technology-driven experiences could be a way forward. And in 2016, that plan took form with Mako. In May 2015, SeaWorld announced that it would be building the tallest, fastest, and longest coaster in Orlando. It would be themed to the Mako shark, known for its speed, aggression, and agility in the ocean. The coaster wouldn't just be a thrill machine, it would anchor a newly themed section of the park called Shark Wreck Reef. The goal was twofold: deliver a standout attraction for thrill seekers and rebuild public perception through immersive storytelling tied to ocean conservation. The ride would be built by Bolliger & Mabillard, the Swiss manufacturer known for creating some of the smoothest, most reliable coasters in the world. B&M was no stranger to hypercoasters, having already delivered icons like Nitro, Apollo's Chariot, and Goliath. But with Mako, they aimed to do something a little different, focusing not on height records, but on airtime. Lots and lots of airtime. Construction officially began in late 2015. Mako would stretch across the park's central lake and snake through an area once dominated by waterfront views and shaded pathways. A massive portion of the ride would be built over water, something that created both visual impact and logistical headaches. Foundational work required precise underwater supports, careful coordination with existing infrastructure, and a focus on keeping noise and disruption down. After all, SeaWorld still had daily guests and marine life to consider. The coaster was completed in just over 7 months, a relatively fast timeline for a ride of its scale, with the final piece of track installed in March 2016. Mako officially opened to the public on June 10, 2016. So let's break down what makes Mako tick. Height, 200 feet. First drop, 200 feet at 70 degrees. Top speed, 73 miles per hour. Track length, 4,760 feet ride. Duration, approximately 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Airtime Hills, 9 manufacturer, Bolliger and Mabillard ride. Type, hypercoaster, steel. Trains, 3, each with 7 cars, seating 28 riders per train. Although it only barely qualifies as a hypercoaster by height, Mako delivers more sustained airtime than many of its taller cousins. In fact, that's the central design principle. Give riders floaty, sustained ejector airtime over massive camelbacks, without excessive positive Gs or whippy turns. Riders begin their journey in the station, a shark-themed loading platform with nautical touches and ambient lighting. The trains themselves are open and minimalist, with staggered seating for improved sight lines and no over-the-shoulder restraints, just lap bars. Once dispatched, the train makes a right-hand turn and climbs the 200-foot chain lift. From the top, you get a sweeping view of Orlando, and then the drop. A full 200 feet at a 70-degree angle, plunging straight toward the lake. It's smooth, fast, but most importantly, it's floaty. Mako doesn't beat you up, it carries you. The next element is a massive overbanked turnaround, followed by a succession of airtime hills, including a 134-foot camelback and a 100-foot parabolic hill, each delivering that signature B&M floater airtime. Midway through the ride, there's a mid-course brake run, but it barely touches the train. Mako keeps its momentum, diving back into a few lower, faster hills, and even a surprise pop or two near the final turn. It's not aggressive like Skyrush. It's not twisty like Maverick. But Mako delivers on the promise of pure airtime. Clean, controlled, repetitive, euphoric. What truly elevates Mako is the theming around it. Shark Wreck Reef isn't just a coaster plaza. It's a fully designed environment, complete with shipwreck decor, underwater audio cues, and digital projection effects in the queue. The area is shared with attractions like Shark Encounter, helping to tie the conservation message back into the park's mission. Even the soundtrack plays a role, composed specifically for the ride and the land it anchors. It builds suspense in the queue and swells as the trains roar overhead. This commitment to atmosphere is what makes Mako stand out among B&M hypers. It's not just a coaster, it's a scene, a vibe, a destination. Now here's where Mako gets interesting. At 200 feet, it's the smallest of B&M's hyperclass. But it doesn't try to compete on stats alone. Instead, it focuses purely on experience. While rides like Goliath at Six Flags Over Georgia or Intimidator at Carowinds have longer layouts or taller drops, Mako arguably delivers the cleanest airtime profile of any B&M hyper. There are no dead spots, no filler, just hill after hill of smooth, sustained airtime. Some even argue it's the best hyper in the country, narrowly edging out Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure and Candymonium at Hershey Park in terms of pure ride satisfaction. When Mako opened in 2016, reviews were overwhelmingly positive. It quickly earned praise not just from coaster enthusiasts, but from casual guests who appreciated its smoothness, visuals, and easy re-rideability. It was ranked in Amusement Today's Golden Ticket Awards and regularly appears in top steel coasters lists around the world. More importantly, it marked a turning point for SeaWorld. Attendance rebounded. The park began investing even more in thrill rides, following Mako with attractions like Infinity Falls and Icebreaker. Mako proved that SeaWorld could build world-class coasters, and it helped shift the brand from marine parks to hybrid theme parks. Operationally, Mako runs like clockwork, thanks to B&M's reputation for reliability. It cycles 3 trains efficiently, usually with minimal downtime. The station is spacious, the crew is trained to move fast, and the queue rarely sees extreme waits unless the park is at capacity. The trains themselves are B&M's signature clamshell style, spacious, open, and lap bar only, adding to that weightless feeling on each hill. While Mako isn't known for breaking down, its lake-facing layout does mean that routine maintenance often involves extra safety precautions and overnight inspections due to Florida's wild weather swings. Mako might not be the tallest hyper, or the fastest, or the longest, but it nails what it sets out to do: deliver smooth, sustained airtime in a perfectly themed environment with top-tier reliability and pacing. It's a ride that doesn't rely on gimmicks. There's no launch, no inversions, no backward sections, just precision-engineered thrills and perfect timing. In a world where coaster designs are constantly trying to one-up each other, Mako remains refreshingly simple, clean, pure, purposeful, and that's exactly why it works so well. Thanks for diving with us into one of the best rides B&M has ever created. If you've ridden Mako, let me know what you think. If you haven't, trust me, it's worth the trip. Catch you next time on Coaster Dive. Until then, keep your hands up, your lap bar tight, and your heart rate slightly elevated. Now, it's back to Ryan and Ferris.
And that's going to be a wrap today, guys, in our deep dive into Mako, a roller coaster that proves SeaWorld can deliver thrills without a splash zone full of regret.
Speaking of regret, Mako isn't the only thing around here with a fishy smell. Reminds me of your ex. You know, the one who thought sushi grade meant bath bombs and canned tuna.
I thought we weren't going to bring her up anymore.
Well, maybe next time pick someone who doesn't smell like the loading dock behind Red Lobster.
Either way, guys, be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, tell your friends about this channel. We'd love to get it growing more than it already is.
Better odds than you getting approved for another credit card. Catch you next ride on Loopin' Through Life.